Hi everyone, thank you for tuning in. This is your instructor Joy. Let me first play a tune for you. This was Chrysler's Liebeslied, Love Sorrow, a little beginning of it. So today I picked this particular piece because I want us to talk about shifting, one of the hardest technique, which involves a lot of healthy left hand position, and also it plays an important role when it comes to intonation as well. I will be making several videos about shifting, talking about different methods like Sevcik, Galanian and Dunis, so that you see different approaches when it comes to shifting exercises. Today I would like to talk to you general technical guidance when it comes to shifting, do's and don'ts. So, do's. Number 1, light fingertip. Number 2, open wrist. Number 3, 1 and the only one slide or glide. So let's go back to number 1, light fingertip. So when we slide the fingertip, let's say first finger, if my finger is very heavy, I can push it, but it takes much more effort to slide it. It will slow me down. And also it's going to be hard to land in a precise spot. So in order to have easy sliding finger while shifting, and then make sure you can land on the precise spot, you want to make the fingertip light so much so that you should see the string almost getting lifted from the fingerboard. Do you see that? You don't have to lift it completely. The finger must stay on the string and then glide it naturally, and when you land it, and then put weight again like this. So the concept is this: if you want to run fast from point A to point B, if you're dressed heavily, wearing heavy shoes, carrying heavy bags, and it's gonna be harder to run fast. So therefore, when we go for marathon or for fast run, we make sure we're lightly dressed, carry the least weight possible, and light shoes and so on. So that's the same concept. Light fingertip is easier to go faster, that's why. Number 2, open wrist. So when we shift, you want to make sure the wrist stays nice and open. If your wrist is bent inwards like that, you're gonna block yourself from going upwards, you see? Because we have a big body. So sometimes I see people who used to play guitar or who are guitarists as well, they have tendency of bending their wrist or holding the neck like that. Make sure you're holding your violin with your chin and shoulder only, so your left hand is completely free while keeping the wrist open, so you can shift upwards like that. Yeah, that's very important. Number 3, during the shifting, try to do it in one slide, not multiple slide, but one way. So we can do that by just doing a slow shifting. Yeah? Yeah? Instead of... Yeah? So just go... You can do slow shifting, but in one slide. Like that. So now, let's talk about don'ts. So, number 1. As you noticed, heavy fingertip. Big no. Simply because it may feel like you're doing, it can feel like it's a lot of fun, but it's counterproductive. So you want to make sure it's light. And now, number 2, not too many moving parts. So common mistake that I see during shifting in my teaching studio, some students play shift first bending their wrist and finger forward like that, or push finger first and then bring the hand left. Push the finger first and then bring the rest of the hands later like that. The problem with this one, instead of moving entire hand about the same time, but moving different parts in different time, it's very hard to gauge the distance. Shifting is all about bringing your finger from point A to point B precisely. We want to land from certain part to certain a certain goal in a precisely. In order to make sure that you land in a precise spot, you have to have a way to measure it in an exact way. If you're moving too many parts, it's going to be hard to know the exact distance. Just as simple as that. Now, let's see, the last one is, the last don't is too fast or very fast sliding. So, let's say, if you go too fast, often we miss the landing spot. And you're wondering, but we're not supposed to do super slow because that it's not always, it doesn't always belong to music. And you're right. What you do is you start shifting fast and slow down near the end so that you can land in a precise spot. Like, again, like that. Yeah. So so that's all. Do's, light fingertip, open wrist, and one slide. Don'ts would be heavy fingertip, no. Too fast sliding, no. And too many moving parts, that also no. So now, sometimes my students ask, but aren't we supposed to make sure that the sliding notes are not heard? The answer is yes and no. Depending what era, what type of music you play. When you play Baroque music such as Bach or classical era like Mozart, you want to make sure you avoid the slide to be heard. But when you're playing romantic pieces, especially like this Chrysler piece, the sliding notes are played as a part of expressive tool. So you want to make sure that nice sliding notes are heard, so to make your piece very emotional and beautiful. Yeah, I hope this video was helpful, and I hope to see you again. Bye bye.